believers. And even if we did have only Christians in our midst, if we expelled every non-Christian from the United States of America, whose Christianity would we teach in the schools? Would it be James Dobson's or Al Sharpton's? Which passages of Scripture should guide our public policy? Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay, and that eating shellfish is an abomination? Or we could go with Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application? So before we get carried away, let's read our Bibles now. Folks haven't been reading their Bible. Democracy demands that the religiously motivated translate their concerns into universal rather than religion-specific values. People are tired of seeing faith used as a tool of attack.
We will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world.
I would like to speak directly to the people and leaders of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Your great and celebrated culture. Over many centuries, your art, your music, literature, and innovation have made the world a better and more beautiful place. We know that you are a great civilization, and your accomplishments have earned the respect of the United States and the world.
I also know civilization's debt to Islam. It was Islam at places like Uluzar that carried the light of learning through so many centuries, paving the way for Europe's Renaissance and Enlightenment. It was innovation in Muslim communities that developed the order of algebra, our magnetic compass and tools of navigation, our mastery of pens and printing, our understanding of how disease spreads and how it can be healed. Islamic culture has given us majestic arches and soaring spires, timeless poetry and cherished music, elegant calligraphy, and places of peaceful contemplation. They have fought in our wars, they have served in our government, they have stood for civil rights, they have started businesses, they have taught at our universities, they have excelled in our sports arenas, they've won Nobel Prizes, built our tallest building, and lit the Olympic torch. And when the first Muslim American was recently elected to Congress, he took the oath to defend our Constitution using the same Holy Quran. In ancient times and in our times, Muslim communities have been at the forefront of innovation and education. Islam is not part of the problem in combating violent extremism. It is an important part of promoting peace. The enduring faith of over 1 billion people is so much bigger than the narrow hatred of a few. In the United States, rules on charitable giving have made it harder for Muslims to fulfill their religious obligation. That's why I'm committed to working with American Muslims to ensure that they can fulfill zakat. It is important for Western countries to avoid impeding Muslim citizens from practicing religion as they see fit. And I consider it part of my responsibility as President of the United States to fight against negative stereotypes of Islam wherever they appear. We are no longer a Christian nation.
We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation.
The United States has been enriched by Muslim Americans. Since our founding, American Muslims have enriched the United States. Islam has always been a part of America's story. There is a mosque in every state in our union, and over 1,200 mosques within our borders.
One of the points I want to make is that if you actually took the
number of Muslims Americans, we'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. Let there be no doubt, Islam is a part of America.
He did bow to the Muslim king, while he did not do it to the British Queen of England. And by bowing, he showed the world that I am subservient. I do bow down to you as a Muslim king, something no other president has done with Saudi Arabia. The Saudi king is his peer. He is not his subordinate in order to bow for him. And this is exactly what Obama did. Usually it is out of respect that someone would nod his head when bowing to royalty, and the ladies will give curtsy. But Obama went beyond what is required as a head of state and bowed to the Saudi king, and that's unacceptable. It sent the wrong symbol.
When you say it sends the wrong signal, what signal do you think it sends?
It sent a message that Islam is superior to any other master or king or president in the world, that an American president bound to a Muslim king. It also sent a message that terrorism and jihadism is giving Islam the respect it should have on the world stage, to the point that it made an American president, for the first time in history, bow to a Muslim king.
Obama is trying to change political fashion. He gave a speech in Iowa City today, and he wasn't wearing an American flag pin. Those pins have become synonymous with politicians since 9/11. Obama says he doesn't like how the pin has come to represent patriotism in America.
I won't wear that pin on my chest.
It's a little weird, Alan, that in the middle of the campaign, the guy takes off the American flag that most people wear because they're proud of their country.
Let me speak as clearly and as plainly as I can. America is not and never will be at war with Islam.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting.
Assalamu alaikum. Many other Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them. But my father came from a Kenyan family that includes generations of Muslims. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
You're absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith.
I've spoken here last. Lots of ups, lots of downs, except for my approval ratings, which have just gone down. But that's politics. It doesn't bother me. Besides, I happen to know that my approval ratings are still very high in the country of my birth.
Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya, we took a public HIV test.
I thought this day would ever happen. I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know, if I help him, he's going to help me.
And of course, just recently we have had some other changes. Matter of fact, early this year, the president announced a policy change. He said now that it was proper it was proper for him to have the authority to assassinate an American citizen, even if they have not been charged with anything, if he thought it was necessary.
But when the president can kill whoever he wants, then he's not a president anymore, he's a king.
To start assassinating American citizens without charges we should think very seriously about this.
If there is one thing that has distinguished the United States of America from the rest of the world, it is our unwavering belief in freedom. And if there is one thing that protects and upholds that freedom, it is the Constitution of the United States.
Lane clear! Clear!
We came here looking for a subject that we had an arrest warrant for. Obviously, we didn't find it.
The Patriot Act
permits federal agents to write their own search warrants.
Roving wiretaps without having to identify the person.
Many Americans are being monitored.
The FBI monitoring young children.
Authorizes surveillance by suspicion, monitoring citizens not linked to any terrorist groups.
I don't think the Patriot Act would have been passed if it would have been called Repeal the Fourth Amendment Act.
Fourth Amendment, gone.
Do you want to have the government have the ability to send you to Guantanamo Bay?
The National Defense Authorization Act
gives the military the power to indefinitely detain American citizens
without trial.
Suspected, not convicted.
When they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
Officially declares the United States a battleground.
It designates the world as the battlefield, including the homeland.
Sixth Amendment, gone.
There is absolutely never a reason to give up 1 ounce of freedom for the sake of security. It won't work.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
My administration will not authorize the indefinite military detention. President Obama, on New Year's Eve, signed the National Defense Authorization Act.
No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime.
President Obama signed into law a 4-year extension of the Patriot Act.
Drones that Congress you love so much just passed a bill which the president is expected to sign into law. Drone aircraft for use in American airspace by the year 2015. The agency officials say 30,000 of them by 2020.
They can be used for surveillance to establish daily routine.
From the moment that you walk out of your home in the morning until you return at night, your every movement will be tracked by this unseen eye in the sky.
Governor Romney, as president, would you have signed the National Defense Act?
Yes, I would have, and I do believe that it's appropriate.
I think you want to use every tool that you can possibly use. The Patriot Act has clearly been a key part of that. All of us will be in danger for the rest of our lives.
There is no such society that I'm aware of where we've had radical individualism and that it succeeds as a culture.
There is such a society. It's called the United States of America.
This idea that people should be left alone, be able to do whatever they want to do. Government should keep our taxes down and keep our regulation low, and that we shouldn't get involved in the bedroom. We shouldn't get involved in cultural issues. That is not how traditional conservatives view the world.
They want you to believe that patriotism means that you support everything the government wants. A true patriot defends liberty and the people.
Politicians are politicians, but Ron Paul is a human being, ladies and gentlemen.
He's one of us, not one of them.
And the people know that the system we have is not working. It's not working economically. It's not working monetarily. Our foreign policy is not working. And therefore they're looking for answers. They will not welcome us with open arms. But there is a vacuum out there. And the vacuum is not in one political party. It is pervasive. It's throughout the country. It is throughout the political system. Ideas spread. They can't stop them. An idea whose time has come cannot be stopped by any army or any government.
Where the wonderful thing is happening is in the grassroots. People are beginning to realize that the problem is too much government. We need more personal liberty.
Freedom is not something strange, and neither is it ancient. It's recent. Tyranny is ancient.
Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty.
Forward!